Hi, I'm Vlad Smishkewych, and I want to tell you about the documentary film that I'm making. It's called Sinfonia, Coming Full Circle on the Trail of the Iberian Hurdy Gurdy. Many of you know that I'm a singer, and now I'm also involved in radio announcing and production. But back in 2005, I was a Fulbright Fellow in Musicology to Spain, where I studied the hurdy-gurdy, or zanfona. I'd been fascinated by the instrument since I was young, and I wanted to find out as much about it as I could. When I finally got to spend the year studying in Spain, I crisscrossed much of the country visiting zanfona makers, players, and collectors, and I got to talk with a lot of passionate researchers and enthusiasts. I realized that the videos that I was compiling were more direct and more interesting than the ideas I was putting together for a book that I was thinking of writing. So after I returned from the Fulbright year, I put together some funds and equipment and went with a small team of 4, including myself, to record what I felt I needed in order to tell the story of the hurdy-gurdy in Spain. We came back from several weeks in August 2008 with lots of footage, to which I added reels from festivals and interviews provided by some very helpful and generous colleagues the following year. But life took over, including my kids growing up, finishing my doctoral degree. The footage just sat there, unedited. But the time has finally come to make this project a reality. I'm looking for the funding I need to finish transcribing and editing this movie and releasing it to the public. It's not just the story of the hurdy-gurdy in Spain. That would take longer than the hour of this film's length, and I think that story is still evolving. It's about my story searching for the hurdy-gurdy, its roots and its origins, and the story of trying to make this documentary. Even the hurdy-gurdy players who roamed the Spanish countryside weren't just about bringing a hurdy-gurdy around. They brought their stories and their songs. And after all, isn't telling one another stories part of the reason why we're here on planet Earth? I hope that you enjoy the trailer for the film, which follows this little introduction. And I'd be thrilled if you have the ability to help make this project a reality. I've got several fantastic gifts for you if you're able to help out, but above all, you'll have my gratitude and the knowledge that you were an essential part of making this great project come to life. Thanks very much. Time keeps turning, bringing with it endless change and amazing variety. Ever since the Middle Ages, and especially along the Camino de Santiago, an instrument called the hurdy-gurdy, or zanfona in Spanish, has kept turning up in the culture, music, and art of the Iberian Peninsula. In the last 20 years, it's enjoyed an amazing renaissance amongst the musicians there in traditional, classical, and contemporary music. How did this instrument, which fell into almost complete disuse for long periods of time, become such a draw for a new generation? Join me for a road trip through Spain and further afield to find out. Meeting players, makers, historians, and lovers of the hurdy-gurdy as I search for why one of Spain's most traditional instruments has now become such a draw for a new generation. I'll visit museums, interview some of Spain's leading hurdy-gurdyists and makers, as well as talk to some of the people who were key in reviving the instrument when it nearly disappeared from Spain's cultural map in the early 20th century. Come with me on the road to witness the Iberian zanfona coming full circle.